Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
A local veteran turns 101 years old. We'll take you to the celebration. Plus, he tells us the key to living a long life. The Russia-Ukraine crisis continues as the U.S. and its allies are unsure of what Russia will do next. We have the latest details from U.S. officials and Congress. Good evening, I'm Alexis Carpello. The Poplar Grove community lined up to celebrate the birthday of a local veteran. Cars, law enforcement, and many others took part in a drive-by parade past his house. Rachel Perry was there today. Rachel, how old is he?
Alexis, Walter just turned 101. He was in the U.S. Army from 1942 through his honorable discharge in 1945. During his service, he fought in the Battle of the Bulge. Now, some friends and some strangers all lined up to thank him for his service and bravery. That's Walter Petrosky, 101 years old and a World War II veteran. His granddaughter Colleen Kennedy says Walter's lived an impressive life.
So he served in the European theater. So he was in France, Belgium, and Germany. He was in the Battle of the Bulge.
She tells me kindness and humor are two lessons he's taught her. And at 101, Walter says the key to living long is fairly simple.
Drinking brandy every morning.
He jokes about the drinking. He doesn't drink that much.
Keep coming.
While he's full of jokes, Colleen says the parade to honor and celebrate his birthday means a lot to Walter.
He really cherishes this. He was so touched by it last year, and then, this year when we said, we're going for a ride, and, got him set up in the car, he's like, what's going on? Why are we turning the car this way,
And he says he had no idea what was coming.
Really surprised. I didn't expect that yet.
Keeping it a surprise was parade director Shelley Peterson's goal, but putting a smile on Walter's face was her priority.
He is the sweetest. He's the cutest and the sweetest. And when you see him, you'll understand. He has one of those smiles that's infectious, and he melts me.
Both Colleen and Shelley stress the importance of honoring our veterans.
Because they deserve it. They are our heroes, and they're the reason that we have all the freedoms we have today.
And unfortunately, they're not feeling that. 22 veterans commit suicide a day, and we need to do better by our veterans. And so a show like this today it really means a lot to him.
Shelley says she's hopeful with the community support they can continue doing this for Walter every year. Alexis?
Well, thanks for sharing that celebration, Rachel. A local museum hosts a meet and greet with a local actor playing an escaped slave as part of celebrating Black History Month. Midway Village Museum also paid tribute to Black History Month with an exhibit on two of Rockford's earliest Black residents. Residents could chat today with the actors that will be a part of the real-life story of General Ben Butler and the escaped slave Shepard Mallory.
It means a lot. I'm glad I got asked to do this opportunity. I feel like when things happen a long time ago, people tend to forget about them. So talking about it and making sure people know his story and stuff like that, it really helps and bring up a conversation that we should be having like every day, not just on Black History Month.
For more details on the performances, head to mystateline.com. The Russia-Ukraine crisis continues as the U.S. and its allies are unsure of what Russia will do next. Our Washington correspondent Basil John reports on the latest details from U.S. officials and Congress as he's keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
Despite phone calls and public and private warnings from the U.S. and its allies, Russian President Vladimir Putin seems unmoved.
They could launch a military action essentially at any time.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan told CBS News' Face the Nation that the Russian military buildup on the border of Ukraine continues while the U.S. and its allies continue to prepare for the worst.
We will defend every inch of NATO territory, every inch of Article 5 territory. And Russia, we think, fully understands that message.
Sunday morning, President Biden spoke with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The White House says the two leaders agreed, quote, to pursue diplomacy and deterrence in response to Russia's military buildup. Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby told Fox News Sunday the U.S. remains hopeful for a peaceful outcome.
We still believe that there's a way to de-escalate the tensions here, find a peaceful way out of this.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are split on whether to punish Russia with economic sanctions now or wait for the Russians to attack Ukraine.
On ABC's This Week, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi defended the president's decisions to hold off on sanctions until Russia acts.
There's very severe consequences to his aggression, and that we are united in using them.
But South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham believes Congress needs to pull the trigger on sanctions now.
Pre-invasion with a waiver, post-invasion sanctions that would destroy the ruble and cripple the Russian economy.
Lawmakers and administration officials continue to urge Americans in Ukraine to leave that country now. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
They've been friends and football fans for decades, and they never have missed a Super Bowl. This year is no exception. Despite health scares and often rooting for different teams, these three have a common bond. They are part of an exclusive club. Rich Chambers shares their inspiring story of friendship and football.
On 2nd and 10, Starr drops straight back. That is brought down for luck.
In 1967, when the Packers played the Chiefs in Super Bowl I at the LA Coliseum, these three guys were there. And they've been at every Super Bowl game since.
You got to be old to be in this club.
Don Chrisman is from Maine and Tom Henschel's from Pennsylvania. They met in 1983 while in town for the Washington-Miami game over at the Rose Bowl.
And we were standing in line to go see the Johnny Carson show.
In Burbank, yep.
I said, what is the odds? They're talking about going to all the games. I said, well, I'm going to every game. I thought I was the only guy left that's going to every game.
We were the only ones.
Greg Eaton, who's from Michigan, wouldn't meet the other guys and join the club until 2016, when Denver played Carolina in Super Bowl 50. Prior to that, he had his own group going to the games, but those pals have died.
So I got some new guys, and I love them, and we're having a great time.
As you might expect, plenty has changed over the years, going from city to city, but nothing more than the ticket prices.
The first three, $12, and the next five are $15.
And how much for this year?
$2,500.
The boys are all in their 80s now, but still buy their game tickets. It does help, though, that the NFL commissioner guarantees them each 2 per year. They say the Super Bowl for them is kind of like a class reunion.
We remember different things about different games. And it's just, we don't get enough time together, really. We could use a couple of weeks.
The guys say it's a bit tougher going through security and standing in lines these days, but they do plan to keep this string going for a while.
I go 1 year at a time.
Yeah, it's definitely in my case, 1 year at a time.
56 years and counting now, and the bond just keeps getting stronger.
Normally, these guys would be backing the Patriots and Steelers and the Lions. This time around, 2 of them want the Bengals to win, and only 1 is backing the Rams.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, this morning we woke up to a couple of flurries, a few light snow showers out there, but the sunshine was able to shine bright here today. A live look with the Mercell SkyTrack camera. It's really nice to still be able to see the sun, a decent amount of it on the horizon here, just even at about 5:15. We're looking out at Freeport at the Park Hills Golf Course. As our temperatures clear here this evening, that means our numbers will actually drop back into the single digits, but we are going to see an increase in cloud cover. Those clouds tied into our next clipper system that'll work in here from the northwest. You see the snow coming in with this. Those snow showers kind of decreasing overall in coverage, and that will kind of be the trend as that clipper moves closer to us here as we go through the night tonight. But we are going to see the increase in cloud cover and a couple of flurries, a few light snow showers, most likely after about 10 o'clock. Our dew point temperatures are really dry. They're back below 0, so we're talking negative dew point numbers, so that's a very, very dry air mass. So our cloud cover increases. Temperatures will be climbing just a bit once we do see the clouds move in. We'll start tomorrow off in the low teens. Whatever flurry activity, light snow shower we do see, we'll just have to watch kind of the intensity of that. Like this morning with those temperatures as cold as they are, could be a couple of slick spots there early early tomorrow, with a couple of those flurries lingering through at least sunrise tomorrow morning. We keep the cloud cover around as we go through at least the first half of our Monday. I do think we're going to be able to see a little bit more sunshine than what Futurecast is indicating for Monday afternoon. Temperatures will be cool in the mid and upper 20s, depending on how quickly we're able to clear out of some of those clouds. As we go through Monday night, winds will be shifting around to the south and southwest. That'll help pull us into the low 20s for the start of Tuesday. Tuesday, we've got some big changes on the horizon. Winds really start to pick up late in the day on Tuesday. Tuesday morning going to be chilly, but we'll climb into the mid and upper 30s late in the day Tuesday night, and most likely even hit the 40s once we get into Wednesday morning. We've got some big changes coming up here with respect to the warmth coming up for Wednesday, where high temperatures could actually make it close to 50 degrees. Now, our winds will be increasing somewhat significantly Tuesday night, so that's going to help bring those temperatures up. Wednesday will be a warm day, windy day. Rain showers are going to be likely during the afternoon, some of which could be on the heavier side. We'll just have to watch to see kind of where that heavier banding sets up. Now, there is a cold front that comes in late Wednesday, so that'll transition any liquid precipitation over to more of a mixture. Brief window of maybe some freezing rain and sleet before a transition over to snow on Thursday, and some accumulation of that snow is possible just depending on the track. So this is how it kind of looks right now. Rain moves in on Wednesday. You've got that coming in for the afternoon, so be prepared for that. And despite the cloud cover and the rain showers, I do think temperatures at least in the upper 40s, if not low 50s for Wednesday afternoon. Here comes that cold front. You see that mix take place. This will be late Wednesday night, and then as that colder air rushes in, you've got the potential for some snow once we get into Thursday. Of course, depending on the track of that, and some accumulations will be possible, again, depending on the track of that for Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. 13 our temperature in Freeport. We're 16 here in Rockford, 15 for our Weather Watcher Jim on the southwest end of Rockford, and there's that dew point number sitting at 3 below. So pretty dry out there. So that's why I don't think the clipper coming in is really going to be too significant, but just watch out for a couple of slick spots tomorrow morning. 11, we're up to 27 for tomorrow afternoon. Winds will be coming in from the southwest and then shift around to the northwest. Upper 30s, that's late in the day on Tuesday. We do not drop much Tuesday night. Close to 50 on Wednesday. Look at that big drop, though, from near 50 on Wednesday into the 20s on Thursday. We're there again for Friday, but we see those temperatures rebound a little bit once we get into the upcoming weekend.
Now sports with David Greenberg.
Super Bowl 56 coming up in just a bit, so allow me to run through my last-minute prediction. Here's a few schools of thought I'm taking into account. First and foremost, there's no question the Rams are the better football team on paper. Up and down the roster, they're loaded with talent, but let's not discredit this Bengals squad. They just kind of feel like the team of destiny this year. Joe Burrow is not a rising star. He is a star. Where I give the Bengals an edge is in big game experience. And I know it sounds crazy to say because the Rams were in the Super Bowl 3 years ago, but a ton of those Bengal players were a part of that national championship team at LSU a couple of years ago. So they've been here. Also as a team that nobody expected to be in this position. It kind of feels like they have nothing to lose, and that's a very dangerous place to be. With all that being said, though, I've got the Rams winning 33-28, and I have Cooper Kupp winning the MVP. Ultimately, my heart just telling me the Bengals, but my head is saying Rams. And in this case, I'm going with my head. I think the fact the Rams are playing at home and they have been able to stay in their normal routine is going to be the difference maker. Well, now let's head to some college hoops from this afternoon. Illinois was taking on Northwestern. First half here, Illini up 11. Jacob Grandison kicks it out to Trent Frazier, top of the key, and he buries the three to extend the lead. For the second half now, Illini still up double digits. Frazier lobs it to Omar Payne, the massive two-handed flush. Then later, the Wildcats kind of made a game of this. Frazier flips it to Kofi Coburn, tries to make a cross-court pass here, but gets picked. The Wildcats in transition now, and they're going to lay it in, draw the foul, and pull within two. Less than 30 seconds now. Boo Blue drives baseline, reverse layup is good. Northwestern tightened things up towards the end, but the Illini were able to hang on for the win. How about some golf from sunny Phoenix, Arizona at the Waste Management Open? This is one of the best atmospheres in golf. Nearly 17,000 spectators all rooting for a hole-in-one at the 16th. They got one yesterday. And how about this? They get another today. It's Carlos Ortiz who gets the ace and celebrates it only the way I assume a hole-in-one can feel. But the better celebration comes from the spectators, the beer showers, the bottles, all thrown. That is why it's one of the best atmospheres in golf. The WM Open is sort of golf's way of showing how fun it actually is, and guys like Harry Higgs, they're all about the fun. Taking his shirt off after draining the putt, and of course, once again, it's going to get the fans going. They're all boozed up, and then, Joel Dahmen's going to come in, and he's going to take his shirt off, and they're getting the crowd going again. More bottles flying. You got to be careful, though, not to get nailed as those bottles come flying in. Makes it tougher with your shirt over your head, but let me tell you, I really miss that warm weather.
Candace is back with one last look at our forecast.
I was just showing those golf highlights. I know I said I missed the warm weather, especially the last couple days, but are we getting back anytime soon?
Yeah, those temperatures are actually going to be not quite Arizona warm. And you're probably not going to be able to go golfing because when we see the warm up on Wednesday, it is going to come with some rain. And so the one thing we have to watch too, we've got the frozen ground. So if we get some heavy rainfall, might have to be a little concerned with some flooding as well. None of that though for us tonight. Pretty quiet evening. Cloud cover actually increases here through the night tonight. There are going to be some flurries and a couple of lighter snow showers after about 10, 11 o'clock tonight. That could carry over into early tomorrow with temperatures in the low teens, couple of slick spots possible. Warming temperatures through Tuesday, Wednesday, big drop in the numbers with some snow possible by Thursday.
Well, thanks, Candace, and thanks for making us your home team. We'll see you at 10.